This is Moonshine and Music with Joe Shelton. Wait a minute, that's me. Anyway, we're going to bring you some inspiring songwriters, musicians, and maybe some side challenges and other stuff around the music industry. So stick with us right now, because the show is coming your way. Woo! Moonshine and Music starts right now. Welcome to Moonshine and Music. We are here today with Kevin O'Mara. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing well, Joe. How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
We are delighted to have you here. I like your shirt today. I was noticing that you went full out music for us.
Oh, yeah. I did this so that I can call my buddy and say, hey, this was a gift. Hey, I wore this shirt, man. So.
It was a gift. There you go. And you can send him the link to the show on YouTube and go.
That's right. You want to see the shirt, man? This is the link.
This is how it looks on me.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm sorry about it. It's a little chilly in here. It just opened and it hadn't got warmed up yet. But the jacket's great too. So I like to start off the show talking about where people came from, where they grew up, how where'd you come from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Beech Grove. As we were talking.
Beech Grove.
Yeah, that's why I might go to the one place there, because
Beech Grove, Indiana.
But anyway, I grew up in Beech Grove, and I kind of still stay in that area. I'm in the Southport area now, but yeah, I grew up in Beech Grove, and it was a pretty cool place to grow up, really, at the time. Small little city like that, and I got into music about the time. Rock and roll started with the Stones and the Beatles and all that sort of thing. Herman's Hermits of all. But anyway, and that's how I kind of started getting into music in grade school. And
were your parents musical? What did they do?
Well, they would sing, like in harmonies and that sort of thing. So it was kind of cool. And family get-togethers, they would. Sing some of the old songs and do some harmonies. And then my mom ended up taking organ lessons in her middle age, and had a B3 organ, a Hammond B3 with a Leslie speaker.
Nice.
I helped carry that in. And
is your back okay?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, here's the deal, Mom. Great instrument, but it's never moving. I'm not moving it out. So when she got rid of it, somebody got a really good deal on it. But
if you can carry it, you can have it? Is that what that's kind of the deal?
Almost. But the sound of a B3 is just amazing. I mean, back in the days, and I don't know if you ever heard of the Sherwood Club. That was back in the 70s. But anyway, all the bands had Hammonds would be the B3 with the Leslie, and they carried those things around, which I don't know how. It's
dedication.
That's dedication, my friend. But yeah,
they're more dedicated than I. But I'm not bringing an organ to the show.
But that's back when that a lot of the music. That's what they had, was the B3 Hammond organ associated with it. But yeah, so but anyway, I got into the music thing. I was in choir when I went to school, and then I took guitar lessons, I believe, at a 7th grade, something like that.
Right.
Carrying a heavy amplifier to the school along with my guitar, so I could take.
What was the first guitar? What was it? It was an electric model,
it was something from a pawn shop. I don't even know if it even had a name. If it did, it wasn't anything. It had 3. All I know is it had 3 pickups on it, and it was an electric guitar. It looked pretty cool, and it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was okay for me because I was just learning. But I ended up taking all the finish off of it, and that was back in the day where you'd really graffiti up your guitar, put some kind of psychedelic painting on there. So we did that, and then it was passed down to my brother, and then I don't know where it went from there. I kind of wish we still had it because it was kind of cool. But that was kind of cool back then. But one of the deals about and I went to a Catholic school, and we had in the cafeteria, the teachers had their little lunchroom, and it had curtains, and it was separated from the main cafeteria. We had a band that we started, and we were going to play for some kind of music event there. And we thought we were really cool. We were playing stuff like some of the Rolling Stones and that sort of thing. One of the songs was by it's Louie Louie. Do you know the
Yeah,
song
Louie Louie, the Kingsmen, right?
By the Kingsmen.
Yeah.
Well, back then, the words were controversy as what the words really were.
Yeah.
And
well,
I thought I was really cool.
if I really knew what they were now, it would be a shock. I have no idea what they
Well, they were a little bit vulgar, but
and probably often changing.
Often changing. And the verse started out, every night at 10 I'd lay her again, and then da da da. So I thought I was really cool, and we were doing a practice during lunch, and I sang what I thought were those words. All of a sudden, all the curtains opened up in that teacher's lounge where they didn't even think the sounds. We were just using the little PA
So
sound.
is it like the Blues Brothers? Did she come out with like a stick? The nuns come out with like a stick and take you on? Or?
Well, their eyes were so big. just that alone kind of scared me. But anyway, I had to throw that in.
You didn't need the stick. You were scared enough.
Yeah, but anyway, that was my first experience of being a rock and roller, or thinking I was. But anyhow, so yeah, Beech Grove's where I grew up, and then got a job and did that, and for 31 years and 7 months, and then I left that job at the age of 50 and started
What was
playing
that
music.
job?
And I worked for the phone company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. What did you do with them? Were you like?
Technically, when I started out, I was a cable splicer, so I'd put wires together. The people
Right.
you'd see up on the poles and in the manholes and that sort of thing, which, was a pretty cool job. Then I got into the digital world and started working with the fiber optics equipment and all the high speed. In fact, right before I left is when they were introducing the DSL into the neighborhoods and that sort of thing, because I stayed an extra year and 7 months, per their request to kind of help get that going. So, so I had an interesting. At the end of my career, it was up there with the high tech,
So did you play music all the time during your?
Well, I actually I was telling you about the thing at in grade school. After grade school, and the summer before high school, and I believe the summer freshman year, between freshman and sophomore that summer, I was in a band, and we played parties, and
What was the band name? First band.
Actually, London Bridge.
London Bridge.
London Bridge.
So you guys were falling down all the time? Was that the?
Well,
No.
it was our thoughts were, all the bands were coming from England at that time.
Right, so you wanted to-
so we were the bridge between the groups from London.
Now
so,
I see.
yeah,
Okay,
so that's
yeah.
kind of what the thought was. Pretty high tech for 14-year-olds. But anyway, so we did that, and we'd play a lot of parties. It's like, where you going to play club-wise at that age, and it just wasn't in most clubs and bars. Of course, you're not going to get in there, and smoking environments and that sort of thing. So anyway, but we did good. They had sock hops and that sort of thing.
Right.
But we did that, and then I thought I was going to go into it, be a rock star, and my dad said, "You want to get a job, trust me. You want to get a job."
He talked you out of the rock star
He talked
dream?
me out of the rock star, and I thank him to this day, because I interviewed with a band that these guys were already into the, you go to their practice and they had a bottle of whiskey or whatever, and
Right.
other things going on, and I thought to myself then, I just felt really uncomfortable, because I was pretty young, and these guys were like 3 or 4 years older than me. But I felt then a little, maybe you don't want to get into this right at this age, sort of thing, which is probably a good move on my part.
Well, it's the old adage, right? The rock band that gets a little too drunk and a little too proud Right.
Right. And so,
happens.
but anyway, I think it was pretty good advice, and in doing so, I was able to, and I always played the guitar, just never, not in a band or anything, just kind of for my own enjoyment sort of thing, and then at campfires and that sort of thing, which, everybody does that, I guess, at some point. But
nothing like having a little show around the campfire.
Right. And so then I started getting back into it right before I retired, but just buying equipment and, practicing more. And then when I retired, I got into, started doing an open mic with Chris McShay over at the Red Lion Grog House. This was before, where the Red Lion is, right?
Yeah,
across.
Fountain Square.
This was before anything else was really going on in Fountain Square. It was the Murphy's building. In fact, you could walk in and just walk all through the Murphy's building.
Yeah, Red Lion, I don't know that they have any music these days, do they?
I don't think they do.
Think so.
But anyway, we did that for 3 years. I met Chris, and we joined together, and we started doing some things. And there is where, Mike Angel got in his band. That's where they kind of started. Not with us. It was after we left. Chris moved on to Colorado, and then I took it over for a short period of time. My predecessor is when Chris Angel and his band started Bigfoot Yancey. That's when they kind of started playing. The Knollwood boys, they would come in there. So there was a lot of people I met through that. It was a great start to get back into music. The
Right.
Hamilton Brothers, I could go on and on. But anyway, by being introduced to musicians, and like I say, open mics were not every night, several every night. It's like you had an open mic there in Fountain Square on a Wednesday night, and there might be a couple others elsewhere, but not many. In fact, I have a picture of me standing under a backhoe parked out in front when they were building all that with my guitar in my hand, which shows you, back. I mean, that was hardly anything going on there, and so, but it has changed. So.
Yeah. So, have you? Do you feel like over the time? Because I know you've hosted several different open stages,
Right.
and you run the music at the Indianapolis Farmers Market, which is it's a really nice venue for meeting a lot of folks. Some
Very
people
nice.
may not think it's a particularly like rock star kind of show, but I think it's
Not
really
at all.
fun. You're going to meet a lot of different people that you don't ever see at the bar.
Very diversified.
Yeah.
Children, all ages.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the markets, both the Garfield Summer Market and the Winter Market. And in fact, you're playing.
Yeah,
A reminder.
I'll play there pretty soon. Yeah,
This Saturday.
after this records,
It'll be gone.
It'll already happen by the time we get it out. But yeah, I love playing them. I think it's great. So, do you find that like the music scenes and things have been coming back, and we've been getting more intense? Kind of.
The music scene here.
More people that feel like they want to support it, more businesses and more.
Well, the supporting part, I would like to see more of that. I think that I think there's room for more funding and supporting of music, not only in the markets but elsewhere. But the actual scene, the music scene itself in Indianapolis, Indiana, is just over the top. I mean, it is. There's so many great musicians, as you know. It's just I just can't believe how many people are now. It used to be, you'd see a few people playing, might be you'd see a lot of hardcore bands that lived the rock and roll life or whatever. And a real quick story there. There used to be a charity thing at a place called Crystal Farms, and Kit's father from Knollwood Boys. They would put that on and to fill the food pantry in that local area where they lived. And Chris Wolf, I met Chris Wolf there. It was one of the days, and it was, Who's he? I never heard of Chris before then.
Yeah, yeah.
You hear that, Chris? I never heard of you.
Anybody ever heard of him?
So Chris pulls up in an RV and pulls behind the stage and puts his awning out, and that becomes the green room. And I'll never forget to this day that's how I met a guy I've never heard of, Chris Wolf. But people like Chris Wolf, they've been highly instrumental in the music scene here locally. Don Smith, several people. I'd like to think that I've had some kind of maybe some influence with the open mics and various bookings for the markets and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, and you're right at the top as far as the music scene.
Well, I hope so. We work hard over here.
It is work. It is work doing this stuff, people. It is work.
Yeah.
Open mics are work.
It's not all fun. Hosting an open mic is way more work than I thought it was when I was just going to them. So I understand.
Yeah, well,
that.
when you're hauling equipment, setting it up, and then at the end of the day, you're taking that equipment and bringing it back in the house, especially in the winter when.
Well, there's a bit of that, but I think the thing for me that's the hardest is just the having to pay attention all the time.
Oh, that too.
Like when you're just playing in it, whatever's going on the stage isn't.
You have to be focused while you're playing, or if you're listening to another
or
music.
you might when you're getting ready to play. When you're going to play, you're kind of like sometimes focused on what am I going to play, how am I going to do.
Right.
None of that happens when you're hosting the thing. It's like, okay, is the mic working right? Is there a problem with is this person's guitar broken because it sounds a little off, and then you have to try to adjust for it.
You find that not all is created equal. Instruments have a different. You've got to adjust for the instruments. When you have someone singing, they may start out really low, and then all of a sudden they are just blasting, and so you have to be able to.
Well, I mean I'd rather them be blasting than really low because
but what I'm saying is getting it balanced out.
I can turn them down.
Right.
When they're not loud enough, I can't turn it up too much more. It's like
to get feedback.
Yeah, that's right. It's like they'll come up and they'll be like, "Okay, and I'm like, I know you're nervous. I can tell you haven't played before, but we're gonna have just maybe a little more."
Right.
So you have to encourage them, right?
That's right.
And so, like I said, it's just a lot more. There's a lot more work and energy than just playing one. If you're playing one and somebody's up there whispering, it's like, yeah, she likes to whisper or he likes to whisper.
This is true. But hosting those open mics or any event like that, it's all for the love of music, and I know you love music.
And I love how you'll have someone and they'll be like that. They'll be kind of shy and quiet, and then the next time they come in,
exactly,
it's like a whole different person.
You're providing a service for them to grow.
Yeah, they get better.
Or a service for them to say, well, maybe this isn't my thing.
Although, sometimes you wish some of them would realize that it's not their thing.
Sometimes
not to be mean, but maybe sometimes they should be an audience member and maybe just play their instrument, or something. But that's part of it, and that's fine. It's just a fun time to see people try to be creative and bring out their creative side.
Exactly, and it's musicians really provide a service for people. It's a therapy, and without a doubt, it is a therapy. It's a way to get away from things that might trigger you, to make you get you all uptight and that sort of thing. So that's what music is, and I'm just glad I'm able to be a part of that. So.
Well, it's funny that you speak of therapy because we have a special treat on board on our show today. We have the Moonshine life coach who's going to come in and try to keep us, centered.
This is the life coach.
The Moonshine life coach, Brent Lee Smith.
You don't sit on the water because you get that.
It's rule number one, don't sit on the water.
That's number one. That's life coach rule number one.
What is today?
Well, life coach. I'll tell you, I've been having this problem sleeping at night.
All right. Okay. We'll get right into it then.
All right.
So, I want to know, I'm not certified yet.
Okay.
I'm signed up for an online class, but it doesn't start till July. So I'm kind of in pre-training.
Have you got your internet yet?
Yeah, I got the internet.
Okay. Well,
so I've been researching. I've been going on my own, trying some free stuff. But come summer, I'll be super legit. But I still think I can help you out.
Okay. Well, what should I do?
All right, Kevin, right?
Yeah.
All right, you might want to change that.
Oh, change the name?
Maybe something like Clyde.
Clyde. Okay. Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Last
scarf?
name?
No, just Clyde.
Not Hopper. Clyde Hopper.
No, just Clyde. Like the scarf, I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Maybe something like an orange.
Oh. Okay. So far, great advice. Did you hire him?
He works for an unbelievably low rate. So that's the.
Hoping to change that after I get certified.
Yeah. He's going to try to bump it up. We'll give him, lunch.
Well, I'm sorry I didn't take notes, but I think I can remember those two things. Scarf
we're recording this.
and name. Clyde and
Clyde.
orange. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about your day a little bit. Like, about what time do you usually wake up?
After I go to sleep.
Yeah? You having a clock for that?
No.
No?
No, I don't need a clock.
No?
I have a bladder. That wakes me up.
There you go. Well, I guess
It's good that it wakes you up, though. Because if the bladder didn't wake you up, there'd be bigger problems.
We'll meet again if that ever quits working.
We're going to need some coaching, more life coaching.
You may want to stop with the cakes before bed. With the
Well,
Bible.
at least you're not trying to pamper me.
No. Like I'm 100% real. I keep it real with everybody.
No Pampers.
I got to explain the joke.
He needs Huggies.
No, I got it. But I still have to keep it real.
But we got to be careful there because there's no sponsorship dollars coming in from those folks.
Oh.
So we need actual. If you guys are out there and you want to sponsor us, we'll talk about whatever diapers you'd like. We need cash.
Used, new, repurposed. You have any specific questions? Something you want help with?
No, just the sleeping thing. That's
The sleeping thing?
pretty much it.
Yeah.
The waking up is still pretty easy.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So you might want to come up with some more things to work on. I don't think you're quite as together as you might think you are.
Oh, good. Good. That's good advice.
Yeah, good guy, and pretty sure the music's going to be at least okay.
Well, I one time I thought I wanted to get into comedy, but you've helped me out there too.
Happy to keep it real. Any last questions?
No.
No?
Well, thank you for joining us, Brent Lee Smith, the Moonshine Life Coach.
Thank you. Hey,
Great life
do you have
advice.
a card?
Not yet. I got to get certified first.
Oh, okay.
If you need to reach him, just send a note to joe@moonshineandmusic.com, and we'll pass it on.
Yeah, and if anybody else needs some help, comment on the.
Yeah, comment on the video.
You saw it here today, life coach for Moonshine and Music.
Or on Facebook or Twitter or wherever.
I feel better.
Yeah.
I really do.
You should. I'm very helpful.
You are.
No.
His
All
help
right.
is underappreciated. That's what it is.
Very much so. All right, I got to go work on signing up for this thing that you keep giving me problems.
Well, thank you, sir.
Brent Lee Smith.
Yeah.
So, did you bring us some new songs today that you've
I
just
got
written?
a couple I'll do here, and I mean, these are like hot off the press, so I might even have to use my word sheet so that I don't forget. That's the worst thing.
No, that's cool. We like fresh breaking news here.
So yeah.
Yeah. So what are they called?
I have one that is called Whipping Boy,
Okay.
and then I have one called Music Is.
So Whipping Boy, what's that about? That sounds interesting to me.
Well, it's a
You
song.
can go a lot of directions.
Yeah, it's a song that I co-wrote with a buddy of mine, Tony, and Tony is a poet, and so Tony writes poetry about various things that encounters in life and that sort of thing. But Whipping Boy is a relationship, so to speak, just to kind of put it in the nutshell. So
Okay. Well, you ready to sing some songs?
I am ready to do it.
All right, we're going to be right back on Moonshine and Music here with Kevin O'Mara. Thanks for coming in today,
Thank
Kevin.
you, Joe.
It's great to have you.
It's nice to be on the other side. I've interviewed you on the radio. I forgot to talk about that.
Yeah, the radio. That was great.
All right, this song is hot off the press. In fact, I got my little word thing here. I'll just be real honest about that. The song I'm working with my friend Tony. It's called Whipping Boy. She put on her party dress, wants to ride the train, I guess, going south to Tona bound. Hear that lonesome whistle sound, a black widow in distress. I got caught, I must confess. Paramours, they gather round, fall to pieces on the ground. Preacher, biker, kid, and Dave, hurt so bad he's in the grave. Her tender tongue was tightly wound. Wealthy white trash Mars hellion hound. Autumn leaves begin to fall. She loved to hate me, baby doll. Once she was my greatest joy. I became her whipping boy. She broke my heart, she broke some glass. I was never in her class. She put on her party dress, wants to ride the train, I guess, going south to Tona bound. Wants to hear that lonesome whistle sound. Once she was my greatest joy. I became her whipping boy, whipping boy. Still in the works. Thank you. All right. This is another one here I'm working on. We do open mic. Is it okay to mention the place? At the corner bar. And we have a photographer that comes in, and he's a great photographer. And he was kind enough to put together a book of photographs that he took throughout the year. And on the book, he had a poem. And so I thought, well, this is I had this tune in my head, and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and put this into a song. So that's what that is. And it's called Music Is. Music is an ocean that pulls me to the shore. Music is a therapy that makes me pleasant. The times when I'm not most cheerful, music was there. Music is a needed friend when no one else is there. Music is my therapy. I need when I feel blue.
times when I'm the most cheerful, it's clear the music was there. Music is the needed friend when no one seems to care. When no one seems to care. Music lifts my spirits to make sure I pull through. Music is a needed friend, keeps me from feeling blue. The time when I'm the most cheerful, it's clear that music was there. Music is a needed friend when no one seems to care. When no one seems to care. Music is my therapy. Music is my ocean. Music is to me.
Anyway, in the works.
Moonshine and Music is a presentation of Notlehs Entertainment, copyright 2020, all rights reserved. Our producer for today's show, Joe Shelton. Our cameraman grip and stunt double is Brent Lee Smith. On cameras and all sorts of other things, Bailey Shelton. The staff guru is Brent Schlemmer. Thank you for joining us on Moonshine and Music, and join us next Sunday for another great episode.